I mean, with the situation, the team, it's hard to argue. I've seen Dallas pretty good this year. And for him to step up after the first inning where, a couple things didn't go his way, he gives up a cheap run, they scratch one across. He was as dominant as he's been the whole game. I think to gut it out into the 120s, not a base runner after the second until the seventh, to finish his own outing under a little bit of duress. That's what the aces do, and Dallas came through for us.
When you put in context 15-0 and a 1.46 ERA at home.
Put in context? No, but I'd enjoy it if he'd do it again next year. I'd like him to have another home start this year too. Which we're going to have to earn. But it's hard to fathom that kind of dominance, against a really good league. This is the highest league there is, and this is a ballpark that doesn't always reward good pitches. It's a tough park, and he's never backed down from the challenge. He's never, he's never begged off of anything in his life. And I think his year, specifically at home, as you asked, is as special as they come. Yeah, he was going to electrify the crowd somehow. He was going to get going. I mean, he was like a caged animal the last couple of days, just wanting to get in the game. And yesterday, he was going to run for Carter, and Carter homered. In this particular instance, he was going to run for Carter again, and Carter homered. So tomorrow he's going to run for Carter, and Carter's going to homer. But when he gets in the game, there's just a buzz and an energy that is hard to describe. And when he stole second base and he's bouncing around, you see that life in his body. It was a sight to see. And then, we were fortunate. We were fortunate a couple different times. They made a few mistakes. We capitalized almost in every mistake they made. The error to lead off for Gonzo with 2 outs, and we end up scoring a run or 2 runs, and then the wild pitch pass ball, whatever it was, with the close play at home. So Gomi can light up the crowd and the bench with the best of them.
AJ, what's the sense of confidence your team takes when Keuchel takes the mound?
Well, we think we're going to win every time. I think we know he's going to put us in a position to win. I think when the rotation gets to his spot, I think it impacts the day before. I think it impacts the day after, and it's because he's a premium pitcher. He's as good as they get, and the team knows it. We don't have to talk about it a lot. It's been documented throughout the year. He's got awards to back it up, and he's having as spectacular a season as anybody. So I think that rubs off on a team to where we know no matter how good or bad we're doing, when Dallas is turned to pitch, we're going to be in a position to win.
It seems like this series kind of captures you guys all season to where, you stood by the team, they beat you up there, you get in the 1-0 hole, and then you come back, and now you have confidence, momentum going into these final 6 games.
No, it does. And this is a big series win for us for a lot of reasons. One, we need as many wins as we can get. We want to put as much pressure on the Rangers as we can. We've got as big a games as we've played, I think, in recent memory as a Houston Astros organization. So I think our season, we've got to play all 162. I've been quoted that way, for 7 months now, and it's coming true. And I think our guys have really embraced that idea. And I'm proud of this group after a tough loss on Friday against a team. And let's be honest, I think that type of dominance that they had on us for eight straight games is tough. We don't like to hear about it. We don't like to be asked about it. And we stood our ground and got 2 big wins against a good team leading into the last week.
Is it tough to keep Carter out of the lineup every day now?
Yeah. Well, we're facing these lefties, which is his role. He's been sort of soft platoon for a little while now between he and Valbuena, and I think between the 2 of them, they've got 40-plus home runs. Albeit with some low average. So I'd expect to see him, play a big role for us in this final week. We've got 2 lefties to kick off the Mariners series. They're a TBA on Wednesday and then the day off. So, he's, as I said before the game, Carter's year, what you see on the scoreboard is not necessarily indicative of how he's been the last 4 to 6 weeks. He's been very good. Good against right-handed pitching, good against left-handed pitching. He's put some power. It's hard to argue it from a production standpoint. There aren't too many that have contributed the way he has over the 6 weeks.
How does he handle the up and down difficulties? Does he require much encouragement from you or from others?
Well, he's about as emotionless as they get in that room. I think inside, I think it's eating him up a little bit that he wants to play. But he gave me the same reaction as when he hits game-winning home runs or when he comes in. There's a little smirk, a little smile. There's usually a one-liner. Today I asked him, I said, "Are you okay to play back-to-back days?" And he's like, "I don't know, let me stretch and check." So we have a great banter about it, and he's been a real pro. And it hasn't been easy for him because despite the stoic approach, he really does care a lot. And he puts a lot of work and time and energy into trying to get better. And so I'm proud when things go his way.
You guys have to finally end this road thing in these last 6 games. I mean, basically, if you're 500, you probably make the playoffs, and if not,
how about we win them all and we don't have to worry about it? I'm trying not to go into the math equations on what ifs. We can't control what the other group's doing. There's a lot of good baseball being played at the most important times. With us, with the teams that are chasing us, that group across the way, even though we beat them 2 out of 3, has played very well leading up to this series. So I sort of expect everybody to win, down the stretch, including us.
Not often do you get a situation like this from maybe, I don't know, ever in your career, 3 teams possibly for one spot final week of the season. Is it fun?
Oh, it's a blast. I actually smiled on the bench at the end of the game, which I never smile. So I'm having a great time. Bring this stress to me every year. I'd love to be in this position every year, and I will bank on these guys coming through with the right type of approach, the right mindset, and we're having a great time. We want to finish this. We have to earn it. But I'll take this type of baseball that matters every year.
Do you think the road troubles are just a fluke, or do you think there's something?
I definitely think they're a fluke, especially going into this road trip. I think they're a fluke. I wish I could explain what's happened. I'm trying to put myself back in the mindset in April and May when I was asked why we were so good on the road and why we were bad at home. And that's a fact. We went on that first road trip. I hope we played on this last road trip the way we played on that first road trip. We beat the Rangers 2 out of 3. Then the next road trip, we swept through the West Coast, pretty well. So I'm going with that mindset, that approach, and we're going to wear our gray uniforms and all.
this has to be better than you ever even imagined. Big picture in February and even January, putting this team together to be in the spot right now where you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean we've earned it, and I'm proud of this group. We've stayed resilient all year, and I think our group knows that the expectations may not be as big coming into the season. They've increased as the season's gone, and we've answered the bell. We've got a little bit more work to do to get it done.
Do you think Carlos will be able to play field tomorrow?
We're gonna hit him early tomorrow in early work in Seattle and test him with some on-field. When there's a fence and there's a coach throwing and there's a little extra energy, we'd like to make sure that he's not in pain. So we'll see tomorrow.